All right, guys, it's time to go ahead and check out some easy, delicious recipes for your family. While we're all at home staying safe, it's a great time to cook, to bake. The first recipe I have for you is a delicious chicken and rice crock pot recipe. Next, we're going to dive into a sausage and veggie plate that you won't want to miss. It's filled with goodness and it's super healthy. And then finally, we're going to finish it off with a keto-friendly taco casserole bake. We're going to go ahead and dive into a delicious chicken recipe. This is crock-pot chicken and rice, and you can see by the ingredients, super easy to make. It doesn't take a lot of time. Most of the ingredients you probably already have in your home, and if you don't, you can kind of tweak it to your liking. But let's go ahead and get started with this recipe. So first, you're gonna go ahead and need a crock pot for this recipe. It is a crock pot recipe. Then you're gonna go ahead and need 3 to 4 medium-sized skinless chicken breasts. Now, these three, the two are pretty hefty, so I'm gonna go ahead and just use 3 of them. You need 1.5 cups of brown rice. Now, this is brown rice and quinoa because we just don't have straight plain brown rice, but you need 1.5 cups. I have a small onion diced. Then you're going to need some dry ingredients. So over here, you're going to see the basil. You want a teaspoon of basil. You want a teaspoon of dried oregano. If you have parsley flakes as well, which I don't have them out here, but I do have parsley flakes, you want to add a teaspoon of those. You're going to use the black pepper and salt to go ahead and season your chicken breasts. I have a 1/2 teaspoon of lemon zest. You're also going to need a tablespoon of lemon juice. And then you want 3 cups of chicken broth. Now I am using the reduced sodium. You don't have to use the reduced sodium. You can just use regular chicken broth. Now 1 container like this has 4 cups. So for the recipe, you're going to need 1 container because we need 3 cups. I've got 5 cloves of garlic here. And then we're just going to use some butter in the crock pot as well. All right, so what I did was I added 2 tablespoons of olive oil into a frying pan. What I'm going to do first is brown my chicken. Now, prior in the last clip, I had all of my chicken thoroughly washed. I did season it with some salt and pepper. So I'm just going to go ahead and brown these in the pot. All right, so I just took my chicken out of the pan, set them aside. Again, I wasn't browning them too much, just to give them a light brown to them. We're gonna put them in the crock pot, but I'm gonna go ahead and take my garlic and just brown this in the pot now. So we're gonna go ahead and add all of our ingredients into the crock pot. Now you're gonna cook this on high for about 2.5 to 3 hours. So what you wanna do first is just spray the inside of your crock pot. Next, we're gonna go ahead and take our diced onion and we're gonna go ahead and slam that in the crock pot. Now we're gonna add in the 1.5 cups of brown rice. Again, I'm using brown rice and quinoa, so we'll see how that works. Normally I just use the brown rice, but again, working with what we have. All right, so next we're gonna go ahead and add in our oregano leaves. Now we're adding in just a teaspoon of them, so I just kind of measure on my own. So we've got a teaspoon of that. We're gonna add in a teaspoon of dried basil and also a teaspoon of parsley as well. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my 1/2 teaspoon of lemon zest. Now, I wasn't sure with my lemon if I would have a tablespoon of lemon juice, but I do. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use the juice for my lemon, but a lot of times, you know, you can just go ahead and add in this lemon juice if that is all that you have, but we want to add in 1 tablespoon. Next, we're going to go ahead and add in 3 cups of our chicken broth. So here we are going to have 2 cups. And then we're going to go ahead and add in 1 more cup. and take our chicken breasts and place those in the crock pot. Then we're gonna go ahead and take our browned garlic here and just place it in the crock pot. Just mix them, move them around there so they're not all on top of each other. All right, and we're almost done. So then what I'm gonna go ahead and do is take 2 tablespoons of butter. So this is 1 tablespoon we're gonna put right there. And then here is the second. We'll plop it right in there. And then I just have a lemon wedge there that I'm just gonna go ahead and place in the crock pot. So here is everything in the crock pot. It smells amazing already. Remember, we're going to cook this on high for 2.5 to 3 hours. So at the 2.5 hour point, I would just kind of check out your rice, see how tender it is. If your rice needs more time to cook, just go ahead and keep it all in the crock pot for, like I said, up to 3 hours. All right, guys, and here it is, super yummy, super moist. This is gonna be tomorrow's dinner. So this is a recipe you'll definitely wanna give a try. This is a go-to every time I have chicken and rice. It's just really easy to make and everyone enjoys it. So in this recipe, we're gonna make a 1-pan sausage and veggie meal. This is a meal that will stretch out. You can definitely serve it with rice or anything that you wanna go ahead and serve it with. Couple ingredients to use. You can see how lovely all of the ingredients look. So I'm going to let you know what you need for this recipe. First, you want to go ahead and cut up 2 cups of red potatoes. These are the smaller red potatoes that come in a bag. I did grab these at Walmart. Really easy. What I did was I cut them in half and then I cut the halves in half as well. So 2 cups of potatoes. And then you want around 1 cup to 1.5 cups of broccoli. You want to cut up and use at least 2 peppers, whatever color you choose to use. If you've only got green, definitely use those up. Now I had 3 peppers, so this is actually 1 yellow pepper and 2 red peppers. They were starting to get to the point where I needed to cook them now or we were gonna have to throw them away. So if you have extra of something, definitely incorporate it in your pan. Here I have some fresh green beans. Now you want close to about 1 pound of green beans. Now again, all of the vegetables were washed. And with the green beans, I trimmed the edges and then cut them in half here. So I don't think I have a full pound of green beans there, but again, I was using what I have. So here you want to add in some sausage. Now normally we use the Hillshire Farm sausage, but again, I did Walmart grocery pickup. They were out. They substituted it with Bobex sausage, which if you're on the south side of Chicago, you know what I'm talking about. It smells absolutely amazing. So I just kind of coined out the sausage here into pieces. So next we have a couple of dry ingredients that you'll need. We are going to be using some paprika. You need 1 teaspoon of paprika. And then you're also gonna go ahead and need some garlic powder. You wanna go ahead and use 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. And then we have some dried oregano here. You want 1 tablespoon of dried oregano. And you also wanna go ahead and use 1 tablespoon of the dried parsley. So we're also gonna use some good old salt and pepper. And then I have lined here a very large pan sheet that I have just because I like to use my larger pan sheet. Again, you can always double your recipe if you have a larger pan sheet, or you can use 2 of them if you want to double up on the recipe, but let's get started. All right, so you want to go ahead and preheat your oven at 400 degrees. I've got mine all ready to go. I've already prepped all the vegetables like I showed you. So what you want to do is, again, line with foil or parchment paper your large sheet pan. Next, we're going to go ahead and just slam all the veggies onto the sheet pan. All right, right, you can see how beautifully colored all of this looks. All the colors look amazing. So next we're gonna go ahead and pile on all of our sausage. Again, I'll let you guys know how this sausage was. It smells amazing. I'm not sure if it's available like in different states, but it smells really good. And the one that we normally use is Hillshire Farm, and that one is great as well. So next you wanna take your olive oil. We're gonna use about 6 tablespoons of olive oil. I never measure it, I just kind of go with it and pour it on there as I go along. So just by eyeing it out, you can go ahead and use what you need. But that is what we're going to do next. All right, and once that's done, it's time to go ahead and add in your other ingredients, your dried ingredients, your oregano, parsley, garlic powder, paprika, and then some salt and pepper. These things too, I don't measure out. I gave you guys the measurements earlier in the video. You can definitely follow those when you're making it the first time, but as you make it, you can just go ahead and eye it as you go. All right, so everything is on there. I'm just gonna kind of move it around a bit, get everything in the oil, give it a good mix around. And again, your oven should be preheated to 400 degrees. So this is ready to go into the oven. What I'm gonna do is bake it in the oven for 15 minutes. I'm gonna take it out and I'm just gonna remix everything up again, and then I'm gonna put it back in the oven for another 10 to 15 minutes. All right, so it's been cooking for 15 minutes. I'm just gonna go ahead and mix everything, give it a little mix around here, and then I'm gonna put it back in the oven for another 15 minutes. So it's been another 15 minutes. I popped this out of the oven, just gave it a little stir. I'm gonna go ahead and let this sit for about a couple of minutes, maybe 3 to 5 minutes. And in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and make 2 of these whole grain medley Uncle Ben's rice mix. This is the quinoa and brown rice with garlic. All right, so here I put my 2 packets of rice in a dish, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and top all of this into the top. Be careful, especially with the foil, not to pick it up and get any pieces in your food. And you can see how much I already have in my dish. I still have a lot left over. I'm just gonna put those in individual containers. We can have those for lunch. But this meal definitely goes a long way. Check it out, look at the colors, look how yummy. It smells so good. If you have any fresh parsley, which I happen to have just a little bit, you can just go ahead and pour some on the top there for a little bit more added color and flavor. But that is my sausage and veggie recipe. So you're gonna need some super easy ingredients that you might already have available at home for this taco casserole. First things first, you want 2 pounds of ground beef. Now the ground beef that I'm using is the market side grass-fed ground beef, 90% lean, 10% fat. Use what you like. I did grab this and the other ingredients through Walmart grocery pickup. So if you're interested in that, check out the link in the description box. It'll save you $10 off of your first order. Next, you're gonna need a couple of other ingredients. This is half of a large onion diced. We also have a little bit more than half of a diced bell pepper. Here is 2 cloves of minced garlic. You're gonna need 4 eggs, and I know that sounds scary, but the eggs is like the cement to hold it all together. So we'll get to the eggs shortly. You're gonna need a packet of your favorite taco mix. I'm using the McCormick gluten-free taco mix, or if you make a homemade seasoning, you can definitely go ahead and use that. And you're also gonna need 2 cups of cheese. Now, usually we go with the Mexican cheese blend. We like that much better, but Walmart was out of that, so they substituted it with mild cheddar. So that's what we're going with today. And this package, an 8-ounce package, is exactly 2 cups. So that's what you'll need. So first we're gonna go ahead and brown our ground beef. We've got 2 pounds here. We're also gonna add in our onion as we're browning it, our minced garlic, get it all in there too. I left some onion I have to go ahead and slam in there, and also the bell pepper. So we're gonna go ahead and brown this meat and add in all this goodness. So we're gonna go ahead and brown this meat and add in all this goodness. All right, so this is cooking, still has a ways to go, but if you love onion and garlic, your house is smelling divine with those two. So I'm gonna continue to brown it. Once it's done browning, I'm gonna drain any excess oil that there might be. You can see some there lingering as we mix it in, but I wanted to let you guys know that you do need a casserole pan because we are going to bake it for a while in the oven. So right now I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven for 350 degrees since we're somewhat getting to a point, still has a ways to cook, and get your casserole pan ready as well. All right, so you can see that our ground beef is browned, it's drained. So now you're ready to go ahead and add in your taco seasoning packet. You're not adding in any additional water or anything. You're just gonna add it in and then just mix it around with the meat. We have a clean spoon here. We're just gonna go ahead and mix it all within our meat. All right, so all of the taco mix is mixed in really well. You can see how good that looks. It smells delish, guys. So we're gonna take our casserole pan and we are just going to go ahead and put our mixture in there. Get it all in there. So I'm gonna move this over. And you can see here, we're just gonna go ahead and level it out throughout our casserole pan. This makes a lot, guys. We're talking a lot of food here, lots of meals. All right, so the next step is we are gonna take our 4 eggs. We're gonna mix them in a small bowl, and we are going to add in 1 cup. So that's half of our package of our cheese into our egg mixture. Here is our egg and cheese mixture, and then we're just gonna take and pour it over the top of our casserole. Remember, your oven should be preheated for 350 degrees, so mine is ready to go. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take the mixture and just pour it all over, and it's not gonna look super delish at this point, but I'm gonna take a spoon, get the rest of it out there. And then what you want to do is you kind of want to mix it within the casserole. So kind of mix it around. You just don't want all the cheese on top. You want it mixed in with the meat as well. So you don't want like too much clumped in one area. You want a nice, good mixture. We got a big old clump there. Mix that in, bring some back. That looks like every bite. We're going to bring some cheese all the way over here to this side because this is looking a little needy. And just flatten it down, but that looks Pretty good. And finally, you just have to take the rest of your cheese and just spread it on top. So it will be a nice cheesy meal. We're just gonna spread it all over. Again, we like to use the Mexican cheese blend. This one is mild cheddar, but use what you like. Oops, we dropped some on the floor there. And there's just a little bit left in the package, so I'm just gonna spread it. Bring some over here. And then yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and put this in the oven for about 25 minutes. You just wanna make sure the cheese is melted and it'll be a little bubbly. All right guys, so it's been a good 25 minutes. This has been cooling down for a couple of minutes as well. It's all done. Definitely top it with any of your favorites. I highly recommend green onion if you have it. We don't have green onion. If you have sour cream, I recommend it. We don't have sour cream right now. Maybe some tomatoes, which we do have. Or you can even top it with some salsa as well. All right, so here is Joe. Joe is our pickiest eater in our family, but he is definitely doing good at trying food. So you want to give this one a try? Mm-hmm. You've already had it. You like it, right? So we're not going to... What's your favorite part about it? The cheese, just maybe?
The food in general.
The food. Go ahead and give it a try. Okay, easy there.
It's
easy.
already so good.
It's good. It's probably the cheese, right? And then Sam, you're enjoying it too, right? It's yummy.
Bye.